You are now tuned in to Owen's Exhibit. I'm joined by Sam Harper, who is the founder of Harper Collective. Under her label, she releases everything from ready-to-wear to couture. Sam knew at a young age that she wanted to be a designer, taking interest in fashion magazines and joining sewing classes at Joann Fabrics at the age of 6. She explains part of what it took to get where she is today after having her clothes being seen on Emma Chamberlain, Addison Rae, Kylie Jenner, and being featured in Teen, Vogue, and Complex articles. Enjoy the episode. Welcome back, listeners. This is your host, Owen Patterson, and I'm here today with Sam. She is the founder of Harper Collective. Sam, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself and just telling the listeners a bit about yourself.
Hi, thank you for having me. My name is Sam, and I own the brand Harper Collective. I started the brand in 2019 in my college apartment, and ever since then, I've just been having a great time with it, and I am so excited to be here. So
yeah, that's the main objective, to really just have fun with whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to get into some icebreaker questions. The first one I have for you is, what's something in nature that you find fascinating?
Ooh, okay. I would say light and water. Like, those are my two where, I don't know, I could just, like, look at it all day. Not light directly, but, yeah, I love just the ocean and the waves. Very basic answer, but yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool. Do you like sunsets?
Yeah. Yeah.
What light do you prefer to look at? What's something for an example?
When it's raining and the light's shining through the window, or like at duskish time where it's like starting to get dark. I love that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And is there a company that you would want to sponsor you?
Want to sponsor me?
Just
honestly,
to get free stuff.
Oh, free stuff? Okay. Yeah. Schiaparelli. If I got like a Schiaparelli package, I would die.
And what's your favorite pattern?
Oh, that's a good question. Favorite pattern? I honestly love plaid. Like, I want plaid to come back. I want flannels to come back. I love plaid. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What color plaid? Is there a specific combination of colors?
Yes, like that Ralph Lauren old plaid. Like that hunter green, red, gray, little bit of blue. Yeah. Like that plaid. I love that plaid.
Very classic. Yeah. You can find that in lots of people's closets.
Yes.
Especially the dads.
Yes.
Yeah. And what drink do you order when you go to a restaurant?
A Negroni. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know it's like the meme now, but I love Negronis. Yeah, those are my favorite.
And I know just from reading a little bit about you, a bit about how many siblings you have and stuff like that. So I want to know who you are closest to in your family, and maybe just tell the listeners a bit about your relationship with your siblings.
Okay. I am a triplet, so I feel like me saying who I'm closest to would be kind of taboo. I guess I can't pick one. I used to say my favorite sibling is me because I just wouldn't pick one. It depends upon the day, who I like the best. And I live with them, and they're my roommates. And honestly, they're like my best friends. So, I don't know. They're like an extension of me in a way.
That's so cool. Do you feel like you all have similar personalities, or are there a lot of differences?
There are a lot of differences. I will say, it's so funny because we're all Aquariuses, not to sound so like astrological, but we're all Aquariuses, and I feel like we all have like different personalities in that realm. Like Sydney, the middle one, I'm the oldest. She's super serious. Well, she's not serious. She's just very direct. Like, she knows how to command a room and walk in and do what she needs to do. And Savannah is very, like, Southern hospitality vibes. Like, she'll, like, make you a pie and donate to charity and, like, save dogs. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's different spectrums of people.
Yeah. And do you have a favorite birthday memory?
favorite birthday memory. That's a good question. I would say I really liked my most recent birthday. Turning 23 kind of freaked me out, but like just being in New York and like having people from Cleveland, where I'm from, and like having new and old people mixing was very refreshing. It was nice.
That sounds really nice. Yeah. And do you have a favorite summer activity?
Favorite summer activity? I will say like at 7-ish where everyone's making dinner together, you eat outside. I hate eating outside, but something about it is like atmospheric and fun. And hopefully that's by the water, hopefully. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, then you got to watch out for like all the bugs though.
I know. Yeah. All the bugs ruin it.
And the wind.
And the wind.
Yeah.
But it's more just the idea of it that I like. I'm not the biggest fan of doing it, but it's fun. Yeah.
That sounds really fun. What's something that you always carry with you?
Oh man, what do I carry with me? Honestly, lately I carry my digital camera, which I gotta stop doing because it gets jostled around, and my glasses because I can't see. So yeah.
So you take pictures as a hobby? You like to take pictures of things?
Yeah, I just like taking pictures of people, and I make little albums, and it's fun to look at, and yeah.
Yeah, that is nice to have something more physical to remember things by.
Exactly.
I know that for me, like my iCloud storage keeps filling up, and I'm like, geez, what's the deal? So to avoid all those issues with digital and stuff like that.
Yeah, I have a life hack. I wish they would sponsor me. Google Photos will save your life. Like Google Photos.
Yeah. I'll have to look into that more. And then to round it out, what's something that your friends would say about you that annoys them?
What would annoy? Okay, I will bombard my friends with memes and music. Like that is like, I need to stop doing that. But it can be like 5 o'clock in the morning, and if I think something is funny, or if I think a song is good, I'll just send it and just spam.
Yeah. I'm sure they appreciate that sometimes. Maybe when you send them a good song.
Yeah, I'm like, this is an act of service. Like, yeah.
What's something you've been listening to a lot lately?
Ooh, okay. So in the summer, I have my I make playlists by seasons. I could talk about this all day. I won't. Mm-hmm. But I make playlists by season. So right now it's like summer 2023. I love Leon Bridges in the summer and like Karumbin. I never know how to say their name. But you know how they have like, it's like a band that collaborates with Leon Bridges. Okay. Yeah, and Mariella is my favorite song. And then what else do I listen to? Local Natives. I've been in like a rocky mood. Like Local Natives, Jungle. I love Jungle. Who else? I have like Olivia Dean too. Like she's like jazzy and British. And, yeah.
No, I'm a huge Leon Bridges fan for sure. He's amazing. So that kind of rounds out our icebreaker questions. Cool. I felt like we were doing like a 73 questions with like Vogue.
I know, that was so fun. That was so fun.
How do you feel about this? All right, now we're going to dive into the topics related to your career a bit.
Okay.
Really focusing on fashion and some of the things that you've accomplished. So how did you get interested in fashion? I know, just to give the listeners some context, I was reading that at the age of like 6, you told your parents that you wanted to become a fashion designer. And then also you were taking magazines from your dad's dental office that had like, they were either the L's or the Vogues, stuff like that. Yeah. And so what do you think really made you interested in fashion? Because like, you're not just like, what motivated that?
Huh. You're like Nardwuar, like Sean Evans. I was like, when did I say that?
Thank you.
Let me think. I guess I always just liked drawing people. Like when I was little, I loved drawing people. It was just something that came naturally. I love drawing eyes, and I love drawing like faces. So I feel like fashion was kind of an extension of that. And it was something I was always interested in. Like when I would watch Barbie movies when I was little, I would love the dresses. So I want to recreate it perfectly. and I loved memorizing where things were from. So if I remember my mom had this like Louis Vuitton barrel bag. I would memorize that was the Louis Vuitton logo, and then I would look in the magazine and see if I could match it. So yeah, I feel like I played kind of a memory game, and then I just kind of wanted to keep going and draw and all that stuff.
Yeah. So you were probably really good. I don't know if you ever played, but it was like that game on the phone where you had to like figure out what the logo was. Like they'd only show you half of it.
I loved that game. Yes.
That's really cool. So what's some experiences that have really helped you grow as a designer and also as a business person?
Ooh, okay. I would say my first experience that really taught me everything was dealing with when an influencer reaches out and wants something, and kind of the cost of giving them that product versus how much you're making back is something I'm still learning. Because I would say the first person that reached out to me, I was sitting in my bed, it was like 2020, it was March, it was Addison Rae, and immediately I was like, oh, this is cool, this is like a great opportunity. And I will say she was worth me like trying to like get sweatpants and running around and begging this random woman on Mercari for her sweatpants and having her overnight them to me and Venmoing her. Like that was so much stress, but it was worth that because that really helped me out. So I would say not just sending to everybody for the sake of getting your name out there really taught me a lot. I would say, let me think. Also, when you get a lot of sales at once, learning how to manage your money was another big thing. Mm-hmm. Separating how much you're spending on creating the product really helps me. And I used to ignore that part of Shopify. There's a little part where you can say how much it costs to make it and you can see your profit, and I just didn't want to see it. But now I'm like, let's put those numbers in there so we make sure we're not going bankrupt.
Yeah. Also at that point in the development of your brand, I feel like you kind of just want to focus on creating those connections and building that audience as opposed to like always worrying about the money, because you know, like a lot of big companies and small companies, like they don't break
make any money.
Yeah. You really have to like build and
exactly
progress as you go.
Yeah.
I guess before I get into the rest of the questions, we should really connect the dots as to how Harper Collective started. Okay. So I don't know if you want to take the floor on this, but maybe just cover kind of Sweats by Sam and then talk about how you kind of pivoted to now Harper Collective. Yeah,
so I'll give a brief little timeline. So I started what was then Sweats by Sam in my college apartment thing that we had, the student affiliated housing, and I was just really upset at school. Like it just wasn't a good time. I was sad. I felt like friends weren't going well, and I just needed an outlet. And it was post internship, so I was in New York in 2019 over the summer, and I felt like I had an amazing experience and learned all this stuff and saw people and everything was so vibrant. And then I went back to school and I was like, what is this? So I really just wanted to give myself an outlet to be creative and not do it for a grade, because that was kind of killing me a little bit. It was not boring, but it was just very rigid sometimes. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where did the idea come from to make sweats? I know. Yeah, maybe you want to tell it.
Oh, so basically I was doing my internship, got like stuff on my sweatpants, was running around New York. It was like just so stressful because it was just like a whole thing. But ruined the sweatpants. And they were super nice, and I was just thinking to myself, I kind of want to keep these and do something with it. So I thrifted this crew neck from the Goodwill in Cleveland, and it just had that vintage type of look with the rolled down shoulders. And I was just thinking to myself, I kind of want this to be a matching set, because I always wore matching sets since I was little. Just I love when I guess I'm doing it now, but I love when like the tops match the bottoms. So I tie-dyed it and just wore it for the remainder of the summer until I went back to school. And my dad was like, I'm so tired of seeing you in this. Like, change your outfit. And I was like, no, I love this. This is my favorite outfit. And he was like, then sell it then or do something because I'm tired of seeing it. Make some money off of it. And I was like, okay, cool. So I opened a little Depop and I made 3 sets. It was the Ivy set was the green one, the candy, oh my gosh, am I forgetting my own names? The candy set was the pink one, and the like ocean set the sky set was the blue one. So I don't know, they look like little Care Bears. It kind of looked like pajamas, but I just kind of took pictures of them on campus and started my Depop. That was it.
Yeah, so it kind of happened by accident that you started a brand. And do you think, I guess you always had in mind because you wanted to be a designer, but did you think it would come to you starting a brand at, 19 years of age?
Honestly, yes. I will say, oddly enough, all my accidents are kind of planned because I had started Harper Collective as a jewelry company when I was 14. And it was my freshman year of high school. And that's when I really wanted to do influencer marketing for some reason. It was just in my head. So I sent this necklace to a bunch of YouTubers. And it was fun, but I could not keep it up and then do dance in high school and all that. So that's why I always had the Instagram name, and I always kept it in my back pocket in case I needed it. But I never really thought I would have a brand in college. So I guess timing was a little different, but I always just did random side projects. Yeah.
I feel like this kind of segues into my next question, which is, as a brand owner, you work doing everything from doing the design to marketing to fulfilling orders. So what role do you like the best?
I love the design process. I like the drawing and idea and brainstorming process more than actually making the garments. I feel like that's where dreams die a little bit, where things aren't possible or things aren't working, but I love drawing. And I love creating a world around it. So creative direction and world building and sending to influencers or just whoever wants to use the product to create a vision with it is my favorite part. I love just a cold email with a lookbook in it. I could do that all day, just spamming people. Yeah.
Do you think that's contributed a lot to the growth of your brand, doing that email marketing?
Yeah, I would say so, because get mail track on your computer. It will change your life. You see when people look at the email, if they click on the link,
oh wow,
and how long they looked at it. And it is, my sister, shout out to Sydney, I guess, she told me to download it, and it's just so fun because then you just will email some random lady from Vogue that you found from LinkedIn, and then you're like, oh my gosh, she clicked on it, and it just makes your day for no reason. She doesn't have to answer, but yeah.
That's really cool. That's very helpful for definitely our audience and for myself too. So what are some other tactics that you use to promote your brand, or maybe what's something that you do differently than other brand owners?
I would say one thing that I've discovered works well is if you kind of establish yourself as a trend before people establish it for you. Like, for example, the last collection I did, the Super Bloom collection, I just spam emailed a bunch of the Twitter bloggers that would repost different clothes that they thought was cool, usually from college students. So like tourist souvenirs is one of my favorites, or high-end, I get so nervous to say the last part of his username, but high-end HOMO. I'm not trying to get canceled or anything. But like those, they're just such nice people and they care about clothes. Delightful Tack is another one. And I would just email them, email my lookbook, and then they would post, and then Tumblr would get it, and then Pinterest would get it. So you're kind of creating this like slow like ripple effect before you even post on your Instagram. I would do that before I even announce anything. So I'd say, oh, this is like an exclusive look. You spam email, spam DM all of them. They get it. They're like, this is so cool and different. And then, maybe you can send someone like I sent someone a pair of gloves for posting, and you just make little friends, and I feel like they're the people that really determine what's cool and what isn't, and it's kind of like an underground thing, and it's more fun. I don't know.
Yeah. It seems like you see a lot of value in PR.
Yes.
Is that something that happened by or by accident too? Yeah.
No. Every time I saw like a famous person or watched interviews, I always watch interviews. I always wonder how they got there and how they stay there. So I don't know. Even when I was little, I would look at the back of like Allure magazine and just see like all the contacts they have in the back of the magazine, or look at the back of like Essence or Vogue sometimes has it. They kind of gatekeep. And I'd say, oh my God, like everyone's emails are right there. Like you can just email people from there. And I got in trouble with my mom because when I first got my like Yahoo mail account, I would email random people just to see what happened and like be like, oh my gosh, I'm a fan, or just something random. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that story.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. And I guess, who are some of the people that you've reached out to and that have been really responsive?
Who have I reached out to? I would say Phi Kadra. He is like a model, influencer, artist guy, and he also does music. He does a lot of projects, but he's friends with the Kardashians and the Jenners, and I wanted to do something in menswear, or I wanted to just show that my collection at the time could be worn by like men, women, whoever. And I just DM'd a bunch of guys that had a following, that people cared about their clothes. And he answered 6 months later when I was sitting in my bed and he was in church. It was very weird because I was looking at his story. I was like, he's in church. Like, why? What? And he answered, and I said, how did you find me? He said, I just looked at my DMs. And he actually helped me with a lot of random things. Like, he wore the set, and I sent him, like, a little collection. And Kylie Jenner saw it because they hang out all the time. And he was like, oh, my friend Kylie wants stuff. And I was like, my friend Kylie? Like, you can say Kylie Jenner. Like, so I, like, cried and called my mom. And she was like, overnight everything. Get it to her as soon as possible. So I did, and yeah, and she wore it on Thanksgiving. And then I sent him this whole like letter, like, thank you so much for supporting me. And I sent him another set, and yeah.
That's so cool. Wow, you have so many great stories. Before my brain completely shut down, I wanted to ask you, I was like, okay, so what got you here, and how do you feel like what are you doing to like stay here? And I guess we're gonna kind of answer that over this episode. Okay. Do you think there's anything off the top of your mind that you can say that allowed you to get to where you are? Like, what was it that really motivated you to be in the position that you are?
What got me here? Honestly, just wanting to see what happens. There are some times I think people overthink things, and I'm a very impatient person. So I will just message anyone because I'm like, it's the internet. I can do whatever I want, not irresponsibly, but it's just, you can talk to anybody and you just have your phone. And I don't know, maybe it's because I grew up on like Stan Twitter, and I feel like any person that's like a fan of people will do anything to get to the proximity of that important person. So you just take that mentality and you apply it to business. Like, who are their friends? Who's their manager? And people answer their emails. So yeah, I would say just like finding out, to be honest, just having curiosity. Yes, yeah.
We're on the same brainwave.
Yeah.
Sweet. So you kind of touched on not overthinking things. Mm-hmm. What is something else that you think really attributes to just like making things happen? Do you think, like, what mental barriers do you have to overcome to do the things that you do?
Mental barriers. I guess I would start by saying, don't rely so much on validation. Sometimes you have to be your own biggest validator, because you can ride the high of, oh my gosh, someone posted my clothes, this happened, and be super excited. But when things go quiet, it would be very difficult for me. I would get sad. I would say, no one cares. This is dumb. Let's just delete the Instagram and like do something else. And you can't really think like that. Don't attach yourself to what is going right all the time. Just really focus on what you're doing, where you're going. Focus on your direction. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something that is like the most valuable thing to really prioritize is the direction. It's like know your why, and then that'll kind of give you your way.
Exactly.
And once you find that, you're just gonna keep doing whatever it takes to like fulfill that and be on that journey. So I want to get into some of the things that it takes to make the clothes. So like the fabrication and stuff. What are some unique techniques that you use, or maybe like how do you go about designing and fabricating your collections?
Well, I'll start at the design part. I honestly will see the garment completed already in my head. And this will happen at like 12 a.m. and I'll just work until 3 because when I have the idea, I need to do it. And one of my favorite things to do is I will look through, this is going to sound actually kind of crazy. I will look through AliExpress and like random websites. And for some reason that just jogs my memory. I don't know how to explain it, but a lot of times I can learn more from clothing overseas than here. So I'll always just see what those things are and look. And what else do I do? I look at a lot of Korean fashion because they always just know, they get it. So I will always just scour. And then if I see a motif that I like, or I just get a concept, I'm like, I need to draw. So I just run and I draw and I do my thing and I'm done. And then in terms of fabrication, actually creating the garments, I try to do as most of it myself as possible, which can be difficult for people that don't know how to sew. So I have empathy for that because it's rough, especially if you don't know how patterns work in construction. I honestly recommend just teaching yourself online, like go on Skillshare and just sit down and just know what things are, because it will save you so much time. There's not as much back and forth with a manufacturer, or you have a vision and you know how to execute it on your own. Mm-hmm. I will say that the thing that has gotten in the way sometimes is I can't make everything all the time. You know, I don't have things to finish my clothes. I don't have a serger. So having help is difficult, but once you find like a good manufacturer, like I found a good 2, it's nice because they don't become like your second family or anything, but you talk to them a lot. And it just really helps to develop your own flats and develop your own tech pack, which a lot of people don't know how to do. So I recommend finding someone on Fiverr or a fashion student that just wants a job or wants to build their portfolio, and having them create a tech pack for you, because then your vision is so much easier to send a tech pack on email than just a drawing that no one knows what that is. It's just like a language thing. Yeah.
So I know it seems like from what you're doing now, really your vision is to just make whatever is in your mind come to life.
Yes.
So approaching that vision and trying to fulfill that vision, do you feel like you have all the resources and all the things that you need to accomplish that goal?
No. Honestly, it takes so much money to make samples. Sometimes samples can be the thing that really kills you, because you have enough money to like a profit off of your sales, but then when you want to expand and keep moving, it can be so hard to invest in that next thing, not knowing what's going to happen. So I guess that's why I like to do a lot of things myself, because that's the cheapest way to go about it. But having more resources like financial backing, if someone wants to invest in this brand, that would be great. So yeah, anything that gives you more leeway to like play around, see what works, see what doesn't, and just really spitball ideas and bring different projects to life, I would die for that. But yeah, I think we might have a few people with some
some investors out there that are listening. So hopefully people check you out, and it'd be really cool to see you be able to scale this business, because I know it's something that people have really taken a liking to, and it's definitely it's very ornate and beautiful.
Thanks.
So I want to read something from the Teen Vogue article because I found it very interesting. Okay. It says, with the guidance of Radiant Human founder Christina Lonsdale, she researched and crafted a quiz that could identify consumers' aura and customize the item they could purchase. So how did you come up with this concept?
Oh, man. Well, I was tie-dyeing at the time when I was going by Sweats by Sam, and that was the name of the company. And I wanted something that would expand beyond tie-dye, but wouldn't be boring or basic. So I decided to think of, I really liked astrology, and I was in this phase of my life where I would always be talking to psychics. It was really weird. Like, I would just really, it was a really weird time. It was during the pandemic where you're trying to make things make sense. So I was thinking about astrology, and I was like, no, I don't need another astrology printed shirt. Like, no one wants to wear a shirt that says like Cancer or like Aquarius on it. So I was just thinking about colors, and I was on WGSN, and I saw that Solar Surf had like a projectile, like it was going to be popular within the next 3 years. And I was like, okay, what aligns with that Solar Surf type of tie-dye trend? And it just popped into my brain randomly, and I was like, auras, like learn about auras. And I didn't really know that much about it, so I found Radiant Human, owned by Christine. She is, I don't know, I saw it on Goop. She specialized in aura photography. So at first I wanted it to be a filter that would scan you and just you get it red, like Snapchat filter. And that wasn't gonna happen because I did not have the budget to allocate that to be done. So I decided to do a written quiz, and that took me a year, from 2020, and then I launched it in 2022 at the beginning of the year. And it was honestly like a lot of work to just generate results that actually made sense for the person. And it was like a little passion project, and it was really fun, and I'm happy that it's now just part of my brand and I get to expand on it. So hopefully it'll be out by the end of the year or the beginning of next year. It'll be Aura 2.0 and come back.
That's really cool.
Nice.
So the collections that you've released so far are Sweats by Sam, the Aura, and now recently Super Bloom.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. So where are you in the stages of designing, and do you have stuff in the works?
Yes. So Super Bloom happened when my brand was completely dead and nothing was happening with that brand. It was a dead brand, bad Instagram. Everything was just not going well. And I created this technique in class for my senior capstone project. So shout out Drexel. You get a shout out. And if I never did that and broke the rules of my assignment, I wouldn't have the flowers or anything. So I guess I'll give credit where credit is due. But yeah, I decided to name it Super Bloom. I came up with the idea for the gloves and all that stuff. And I'm basically expanding that idea, but I'm moving into a different direction. And how do I explain it? My fall collection is going to be wine themed, which sounds like corny and dumb, but there's a vision. And I love like the Pantone color of the year. It's like a deep burgundy, purpley wine color. And I wanted to expand beyond that because it's one of my favorite colors. And that's the entire collection. And I will say, should I say it? Who cares? Ponchos are like the theme. Okay. Like the things I loved when I was little, and I would go to Children's Place and do like a fall haul, like when I was 6, and that type of stuff is the theme. Like fall New York 2006 is like but not Y2K.
Mm-hmm. Well,
like something nice.
I'm really looking forward to seeing that collection. I know I saw the Super Bloom jacket, which makes me think about, are you interested in designing more than women's wear?
Yes, my dream is to be in the NBA tunnel. Like, I want a tunnel moment. I want to be on League Fit. I want everyone to say, oh my God, who's wearing this jacket? Like, that is my dream. So I'm shooting a lookbook for the jackets, and I hope to do that in hopefully the next 2 weeks. And I just want to expand into menswear because I love Kim Jones and Dior and all that stuff, and you know, like Virgil, and I love menswear and I gravitate towards it. So yeah, I want to kind of put my little spin on it and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of what Kim Jones is doing right now. Yeah, I feel like people have their opinions, but
yeah, he's great.
It's great.
Yes,
you know, it's beautiful.
I haven't seen something this good in a while. So yeah.
What are some of the pieces that you really take a liking to?
Ooh, I love how he designed those like skateboardish sneakers that are super puffy and just imaginative, and I love his jackets. I think jackets are where he shines. What else do I like that he does? I love his accessories. Because I feel like a lot of guys are afraid to wear bags, and I like how he makes them approachable. He has the crossbodies that are clean. It's just, it looks so cool. And even when he had Bella Hadid close the show, the little crossover moments and his inspiration from robots in the 60s and all that stuff, it's just fun to watch. Yeah.
So going back to you, what do you want audiences to experience from your work?
I just love when there's that jolt of excitement when you see something cool. I want that to happen. It doesn't really have to be clout driven or...
You want to be on Pinterest boards anonymously.
Right. I want to be on Pinterest boards anonymously. I just want someone to, like, if they're walking through Forever 21, they're like, that reminds me of Harper Collective. I feel like she already did that. If that happened to me, I would die and be so happy. But I just want some type of motif that makes people think of the brand. Or I'd like to be shouted out in like a rap song. That would be nice. Like, get a rap shout out.
I mean, those definitely sound like realistic goals for where you're headed right now. You're definitely on the right track. What would you tell somebody that wants to be a designer?
What would I tell someone? That's a good question. I would say, number one, make sure your mental health is right, because when things are going wrong and everything's piling on you, you know, your Shopify payment, monthly payment, maxed out your credit card, things like that. When things just feel heavy, it's just good to have a sense of self and have a backup plan. Know how to navigate the industry without it beating you down or having people, I guess, hurt your feelings, things like that. And then I also would say already see your future before it happens. I hate to be like Miss Manifest, but it will just give you a clear direction as to where you're going, so that if someone says, actually, we're not using this for a shoot, and you pulled an all-nighter working on it, you're just like, okay, this is a little side quest. This is a little part of my story over here. And it's not like it doesn't ruin your entire week. Sometimes it will, but it doesn't make or break you. I would say fine. And also, I think fashion's easy to make your life and not have a life outside of it. So you need to have hobbies that aren't fashion related, like that aren't thrifting, that aren't shopping, just something else. Cook, do something else. Yeah.
Well, we're kind of rounding out the questions, but I guess I want to ask you, what are your hobbies outside of fashion? What are you going to do the rest of your day, you know?
Well, I'm going to work the rest of the day, so I'm kind of a hypocrite here. But my hobbies would be, if I could surf, I would, but can't say that. What are my hobbies? I love painting, just painting for myself, watercolors, listening to music. I love music. Should I put myself out there like this? I am learning how to DJ on my own in like music production, because I feel like music kind of I couldn't do anything without it. So
It's
I'm
very
like,
expressive too.
yeah, I'm just like, why not? Like, I would love to DJ at a little beach club and call it a day and have a Paris Hilton moment. So, yeah, I love just learning about music, to be honest, and reading. I don't read, I'm lying. What else do I do? Looking at memes, listening to interviews and podcasts. Yeah, just, I love pop culture too.
Yeah.
And cooking. I will say cooking is like a big one too. Yeah.
What are some of your favorite spots to go listen to DJ sets in the city?
Okay. My dream is to go to the Boiler Room. I need to make that happen and stop procrastinating. I was going to say, like, I don't like the Brooklyn Mirage. Why am I lying? What are my favorite spots?
Have you been to Public Records yet?
No.
I'm going to go next week
Oh
for
my
the first time.
gosh.
Yeah. Because Heron Preston is going to be there, and then someone else really
What?
big time. Yeah,
See,
yeah.
I feel like all these fashion people DJ. I'm just falling to the trope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to go to more stuff. I kind of don't hate, but I'm kind of bad with live music because I love to be in my own little bubble. Like if I could have a private concert every like Thursday or something, I would love it. But just being around other people, I'm like, go away. I want to be by myself.
Yeah, you could do almost like a live stream or something.
Yes.
I don't know if maybe you could have like a few people close to you come, but then like stream the rest of it.
Yes.
Because also I know for myself, I like going on YouTube and just like putting on DJ sets.
Yes, like I have my little favorites or like a little tiny desk concert. Like if I could just get a tiny desk concert, oh my gosh, that'd be so nice.
Yeah.
But what else do I like?
Sounds like an idea for maybe like a fashion show or something.
Yes.
Maybe you could do a little performance.
Oh my gosh, a tiny desk concert fashion show is smart.
Yeah.
Wow. See,
All right.
you have a career in this business.
Maybe foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Who's to say? So how can people connect with your business?
You can follow me on Instagram at Harper Collective or look at my TikTok. We do need to update it more, but things are coming. And what else? I think that's it. Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, I mean, if you want my email, I can give you my email. I don't know. That's it.
I'll put everything in the show notes. So make sure to go connect with Harper Collective and Sam and go show some support. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. This was so fun.
Yeah.
I love answering questions. It's fun.
All right.